So this is an old Stephen Covey idea, but beginning with the end in mind, it's critical. It's so important. Currently hanging out in the office. This is an addition to the property. It's part of a larger shed that got built, and I was pretty distinct and clear with my wife. I was like, can we have some plans? Can we plan this thing so that it gets built right? And she was like, no. We'll just plan it a bit. Let's plan it a bit. And it was so interesting to see what's happened, because now we have problems in the final stages, and those problems are more difficult to fix. They're not unfixable. They're a little bit painful to fix in terms of getting back tradies, getting back people to fix things. And these could have been avoided with the awareness that if we knew exactly what we were building, a la planned it, then we would get that. Now, even with plans, of course, there could be problems, and that's true. But what happened here is an example of not planning sufficiently. And here's the interesting thing. I'm reading up on Peter Attia's book, Outlive, and this is a critical book. Critical. This is documenting the transition from medicine 2.0 to medicine 3.0. For those of you who are unaware of this idea, basically medicine first stage was back with the ancient Greeks, and it's like, okay, we can examine a patient, we can give them some treatments, but there wasn't a lot of scientific method. Scientific method shows up in the 1800s, and we get medicine 2.0, which has led to the world that we have now, where we have treatments for a lot of things that used to kill people. Vaccinations, antibiotics, a whole bunch of cool stuff, surgeries. But what it's led to has been an epidemic of older people suffering. And this is not much fun. They have a heart attack, and then we keep them alive for another 10, 15 years with poor quality of life. They get dementia, kept alive for 10 years, poor quality of life. Diabetes, they end up with peripheral neuropathy, kidney failure, go blind, poor quality of life. And the adventure that Peter Attia is on is saying, hey, let's pay attention to this idea of medicine 3.0. And it comes back to this idea of the shed. That if we know where we want to be at 70, at 80, at 90 years old, then we should be planning towards that. And if we do not plan for that, then it could be very difficult to make the corrections that are required at that point. This is a problem. This was what the Dalai Lama was hinting at. He's like, hey, man is ridiculous. He goes chasing after wealth and then sacrifices his health, then invests his wealth to try and get the health back. But often it can't be done. Can't be done. There's no amount of money for some people to return them to their health. There is a natural decline that happens in terms of loss of function, in terms of loss of bone strength, loss of muscle strength. And all of these are worsened if I have not and you have not been looking after yourself 30, 40, 50. What we do now, a la what we're doing in the planning stage and the execution stage of our younger years, will determine what happens later. And the outcomes are not great. There's no doubt that the outcomes are not great. So, that's all I got for you. Peter Attia, check it out. Outlive, well worth investing. This is going to be a major movement for people as we realize the difficulties of medicine 2.0 have created the ability to stay alive, but in very poor health. All right, that's all I got for you guys. Catch you next time.